Hello Prospectors, welcome to my lovely home office and welcome to a new series where we talk about all things that happen in the Cycle community. Where we take a look behind the scenes and where we, if you want to, can spend some time with each other. What does this mean, you might ask? That's indeed a very good question. So at times we will take a look behind the scenes. Sometimes we will take a look at what's happening on Reddit or on Twitter to see what the community is talking about or what cool stuff the community created. And maybe we can also take a look at what the focus test group is currently playing. You know, those fancy players who can play on our internal test builds and give us feedback on what we're doing right now. And if you're really, really nice, who knows, maybe we can even hang in the Lucky Leaf Man, huh? Oh, and if you wonder who this long-haired person in front of the camera is and we don't know each other yet, sorry that I didn't introduce myself so far. I'm Feralus and I'm the community and player support lead for the Cycle Frontier. Oh, and there's actually one thing you can help me out with, right? So the format itself doesn't have a name yet, and maybe you have an idea how it should be called, or maybe it should stay like it is and just have a random name every time. Just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, okay? So some days ago, we actually had a pretty big announcement, and I'm super hyped for that. We announced the date of our second closed beta, and I hope that you already have signed up for that. The beta is happening on March the 10th, and if you didn't sign up yet, no worries, got you covered. Just check the description down below and click on one of the links. You can either sign up for Steam or for the Epic Games Store. Both things were completely fine. And the best thing is, if you already had access for the first closed beta, you will have access for the second closed beta as well. So on the day of the announcement, I actually had a chat with Scratticus, our influencer marketing manager, about our jobs at Jaeger. What do we actually do in this company? And furthermore, I also interviewed our executive producer, RickDekard, and our creative director, Daze. If you missed the stream, no worries because I got you covered. We can watch it right now. So stay tuned for the interview that I had with RickDekard and with Daze, but first let's take a look at the stuff that I talked about with Scratticus. So if we don't see each other on Discord Prospectors, we see each other on the 10th of March on Fortuna 3. Bye!
I'm joined with Flo, who, well, we're going to have a little chat, talk about things that might come up in the closed beta, maybe have a look at chat every now and again.
So behave.
So behave, and check things like if the audio's coming in. Oh, the audio looks really bad, actually.
Yep.
Let's try turning that gain down just a little bit. Scrat with socks, yeah, Scrat does have socks. But this is the beauty of doing things live. Flo, I'll hand over to you, say hi.
Hello everyone, I'm Flo. I am known as Feralus for most of you, I guess, like on Twitter, on Discord, or anything like that. I'm the community and player support lead for Jaeger, for the Cycle Frontier, and what I do is basically all things related to community, helping with social media stuff with the team of community managers that we have, helping with customer support, and setting up like a customer support department. That's what I did back then, 2019, as I joined Jaeger in October. And I also, like, one of the big things, of course, that I do is like setting a tone for the community, right? So checking like, hey, what kind of community do we want to build for our game? And it all boiled down basically to one big thing, right? We want to build a community that's warm and welcoming everyone, where we clearly want to exclude hatred and intolerance. And of course, not always easy, because we make a shooter game.
Yeah.
But so far, I think we have a pretty cool community. Like, even looking back at like alpha, closed beta, all these kind of things, super nice and awesome peeps coming in.
Really comes through in all the clips as well, like all of the clips you've seen in like Fortuna and all those other things. Loads of people just being really nice, like, and I want more clips of that as well. Actually, as we go into more activations and streams very soon, I want you all in chat looking out for them clips of wholesome moments. There's a lot of them, and we don't see enough of them on the site.
I mean, most peeps know you, right? But I guess it also makes sense to give a small introduction.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I'm the content creator manager or influencer marketing manager. So I'm working with all the partners behind the scenes, and a big part of that at the moment is actually developing a partner program, because we don't currently have one. We've got something in the works. It should be in place by closed beta 2. But for the time being, we're just working with a small handful of content creators, mostly on awareness campaigns. But yeah, we have a content creator program coming. The content creator program is going to be about building streamers, not purely about awareness. It's going to be designed to help streamers that play our game grow and be more successful whilst playing our game. We're going to specifically put things in to help with growth, help with monetization and stuff like that of their streams. We're going to have several tiers where smaller creators will get help that will be relevant to their position on Twitch to help them grow. So whatever their goal is, to get affiliates, to get partners, we're going to be putting stuff in place to try and make that work. I'm being vague deliberately because it's not released yet, but I have lots of DMs people asking me about the partner signups. The signups are coming soon. They are coming soon.
And I mean, it sounds pretty interesting, right? I mean, it sounds like something that even I would be interested in, just to see what's possible. Because like, just knowing that you have such a vast experience from the past, before working for Jaeger, you worked as a full-time streamer.
Yeah, yeah. I was in the D&D sector. I used to work with companies like D&D and stuff like that. And one of the things I used to do on the side, as well as being a full-time streamer, was do a lot of consultancy work, especially with smaller streamers, on how to get their FIFA basics in place, to get the fundamentals of streaming in place, so that you have a chance of making it. There's always going to be a grind set. I'm not going to give any of you any like secrets where you suddenly become ninja overnight. It's always going to be a grind, but there's things you can do to make it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's also just like not possible to become a ninja overnight. No. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and it's often also not easy.
Yeah. But I mean, we interact a lot as we work together, because obviously the community grows with our streamers. Streamers become part of the community. It's like a lovely little circle. So there'll probably be things that Flo does with me on the creator program at some point as well.
Definitely, yes. I mean, like, that's the thing, right? The community management stuff is huge amount of community work with a small bit of marketing work, because like we work closely together with marketing and community. And for you, it's the way, like the opposite way, right? It's like whole bunch of marketing work with parts of community work. Yeah. So that's why it goes hand in hand, and it's also like super helpful, and all these things. For example, like today, or even going forward as a small teaser, when we do stuff like community update videos, where we as community managers talk about things that happen in the community, coming soon. There will also be like yeah, exactly. They will also rely a lot of like your expertise, or our marketing artist expertise, and all these kind of things, because like everything goes hand in hand. Because like when you don't have a certain skill set, you just have people around you that can help you with stuff, and it's often like that in game dev in a lot of different areas, right?
Huge shout out as well to our marketing artist at the minute, Cole. Yeah. Most of the video things that you see today, they've been produced by Cole, and I know it's been a lot of late nights. She's been working so much. She does all of the Life on Fortuna work as well, all of the assets around that, and she does an absolutely amazing job every time. Anything that goes wrong is usually my fault. Like audio balancing, that's me. Twitch production, that's me. Everything Cole does is gold.
Yeah, I mean, like we also have another series planned from community side, which is called TCF in 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. And Cole also has her hands in that, so intro stuff and so on. That's going to be glorious. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Farah here, and with me I have RickDekard and Daze, our executive producer and our creative director. Can you please let everyone who doesn't know you yet know what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm Daze, or Dan, and I'm the creative director on the Psycha Frontier, which basically means I'm the kind of vision holder for the project, making sure that it's something that people want to play, and that we build the same game, that we know what it's about and why it's cool.
Hey, I'm RickDekard, or Jonathan. I'm an executive producer and like project lead for development and publishing.
All right. Looking back at Close Beta 1, what was your favorite moment?
Well, I had many of my on my own, but I have to say, in the end, I really love the Johnson storyline that I hope at least some chat watched. I was hoping moments like that would happen, and I love that it spanned over multiple matches. Those crazy interactions with other players overall is what I love.
Or for me,
For you?
I don't know if I get the phrase right, but the Zeus beam and the power of the sun. This video, this was just so. Is it Spud Hunter or what?
Both are Spud Hunter.
Are they both?
Both
Oh
with
right,
content,
okay, yeah. That was just had me in stitches. That was just so hilarious. Yeah, definitely that. Yeah.
So now with like close beta 2 date being out, how does it feel? Relief? Pressure?
No nerves at all, right? do I look nervous?
No, you look like someone who came out of tons of meetings today.
Yeah, we had a long planning meeting today to talk about the second season. So yeah, so we're already thinking about what comes next. Yeah.
Spoilers?
But I'm not that like super stressed about the announcement. We planned this for a while, right? So it's I know it's gonna be tough in game development. Lots of things can go wrong, but I think we're fairly well prepared, and we have this focus group, right? And this honestly is one of the major things that helps with not being like over anxious about it. Is getting this feedback from the 60 to 100 people that are helping us out. So under NDA, of course.
No, I mean I'm a bit like, of course the pressure is there, but I have to say I'm more than anything excited. Especially just the game is so much more fun to play with the randos. So I just long back to Fortuna 3 the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, like I was in CB1.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
both
like
were good times.
definitely. I mean, like when it comes to preparation, the one thing that didn't work yet is working now, so you can sign up for the Epic Game Store because there was an issue in the forum, but that's fixed now because the chat earlier asked about that. So, season 2 planning, anything that we can like tease or spoil?
I mean, I guess we have talked about it a bit actually, but we can tease a bit. What I think that the biggest piece of huge piece of content is the third map, which I think would be really, really, really cool and has like a whole suite of features that goes with it. I think it's just going to be really badass.
It's going to be tough to pull off as well, I think. But yeah, I think it's really important for the game to have that more of a defined end game experience, you know. So even though it's a game that wipes every 3 months, I think we need that depth to the game, and I think map 3 and all the other crazy stuff that's piled upon it in terms of the IMAs, which I guess we need to keep back secret for now.
Yes.
I think this it gives the depth that we need. So it's good.
And depth is in general a good keyword for the map in multiple ways.
Oh yeah, I already saw a lot of interesting pictures in that regard. It looks really cool, and the idea is pretty great. And speaking of secrets, because we like talked so much about the laser drill that we saw in the teaser trailer, and also about like the other secret stuff. What are your thoughts on the drill?
Oh, I mean, I absolutely love it. I think it just so very well nails many of the moments that I think we got really good feedback on from CP1 as well, like the meteors and these kind of world events that I think are quite unusual in a like PvP or PvPvE game like ours. And I think this takes that to the whole next level. It just, I mean, you wrote the other day on Slack that you got goosebumps when you saw it being called down by another player for the first time, and I think that kind of sums it up.
It's so damn loud, right? So the thing is huge, and to piggyback on what Dan was just saying there, I think we often called it social emergent like gameplay, like things that just happen and there's a social element to it. And I think the laser drill is that on steroids. So, but just as a spectacle, it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
So
Bombastic and just impressive.
So for everyone who doesn't know that, does it work that meteor showers coming down, someone calls the laser drill at the same time?
Could totally happen.
Yeah, I mean,
independent.
That's kind of the hope, you know, that we have enough of these events, both world-driven and player-driven, that sometimes they overlap and they just result in these really crazy stories, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of sandboxy approach. Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, just imagine the sound of the drill and the sound of the meteors. Everything happening.
3 man squads fighting over it at the same time, and then someone angers a crusher, and
And Crusher is just running onto the drill.
Sure.
Wrecking shops like my drill now.
And back up to Prospect
Back
Station.
up to Prospect Station. You come back to the station. Station destroyed. Wipe. So as we teased also a bunch of things from Closed Beta 2 that goes in a different kind of direction. What else can players play in Closed Beta 2?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. I think the campaigns are, of course, a huge addition to the game. So there's a bit more narrative depth, a bit more structure to the way you do quests. But then we also have 2 other new in-match activities, as we call them. So one is a bit about the fantasy of striking oil. It's taking a little bit of how the gas pumps used to work in Old Cycle. And then we have the third one, which we're kind of keeping a little bit. We'll let players explore.
That's the one where basically the players in chat earlier were just like, wow, they're such a tease. They talk about this cool thing and don't tell us. So yeah, but we'll keep this a secret. But at least, like 2 out of 3 now. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as we all know. So
I think there's also a new weapon, right?
Yes, the Comrade.
Yeah, that people might remember from the old version of the
That's
game.
right.
Yeah. And we still have other weapons from the old version of the game, but I think they're not going to come for a while yet, but if at all, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So the Comrade basically, as Chris Sikora mentioned in the interview yesterday, is like a rocket launcher that needs to be tuned and balanced. So it makes sense for the new vision of the game and for this like tense gameplay, because you don't want someone with a rocket launcher running around like going Quake 3 on you.
We did tune it in the past to be able to do rocket jumps. I don't know how appropriate that is for TCF. Maybe not. But
Well,
it sounds like fun though, I'd say. So.
I think as long as you somehow end up dying on stream for it, either by fall damage or by the explosion itself, I think
It would be a perfect Steam achievement, right? Rocket jumps, you tried.
That's true.
Yeah, but that sounds definitely pretty cool. And the oil pump thingy, anything that you can let the players know there?
I mean, I guess we can hint a little bit at that. We also going into this direction of it being telegraphed quite well. So you really have to watch out as you're pumping oil.
So basically,
others are gonna notice.
Yeah, like with the drill, basically. So for the drill, you see this huge thing coming down. For the oil pump, I guess the sound or also visuals.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of like it's kind of doing the same thing as a laser drill, but on a much smaller scale, and then you having to defend the area, and it's up to you then whether to keep pumping and how much you do it at one time, because of course the more you're doing, the bigger the risk of getting attacked by another player.
Okay.
So it's really leading into risk reward and the fantasy of striking oil.
Yeah, for which faction is that?
That is ICA. Yes. ICA.
Marine faction.
Core level the laser drill, and then we have the secret one for Osiris.
Yes. Yeah. So that's at least good to know, right? So players can like look around of like, okay, I know this and I know this, so I definitely want to do this because they all say it's super cool.
So if you want to do the secret one, grind the Osiris campaign.
Yeah.
So you unlock these new activities by finishing the campaigns.
Yeah, and when the campaign is over, they still can do it, right? It's not this one-time thing.
Yes, of course. So it really you unlock the ability to prospect in that new way, and then you get also side jobs. So the looping contracts that you all know from CB1. You will get side jobs to get the resources that you can only get from the laser drill and so on.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
If you want to level up your factions, like in that kind of late game phase, you have to do these activities.
Yeah. So in the end, the whole prospecting thing just becomes much more bigger and much more prevalent in the game. Just like this fantasy of, hey, I'm a prospector, just becomes more like fleshed out and just becomes alive, right? It's like the one thing where we got a lot of feedback for is like, right, I would love to do more, and this is what we are going to deliver.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and we really tried to have a bit of a progression where you unlock tools on the way, and you kind of go from this like primitive newcomer state of hacking rocks with a pickaxe to calling down huge sci-fi oil rigs
that you have to defend. Other players want to take it away from you.
Hells yeah.
Rick mentioned earlier, basically, like that the laser drill is sort of a thing where you should bring friends. What about like solo?
Good luck.
Good luck.
And what
I
about
mean, some people will manage it
I
for
mean,
sure. Yeah.
I think there's one solo way that it might lend itself well to, and that is of course sneaking onto someone else's laser drill and like rat style picking up the rewards without anyone noticing. That I think is maybe the solo way
Yeah.
to laser drill.
There's no way to actually sabotage it, but to steal.
You can just steal, and the other squad will go like, what
happened?
happened?
so the proper basically risk reward situation?
Yeah.
And as we know, like laser drill comes down, laser drill goes up again. Any plans maybe in the future that the laser drill will stay around on the surface for a bit longer?
And let's see what feedback we get. For this situation, it's really all about this defendable arena.
I read something interesting on Discord some days ago that might be cool to talk about. I think it was Miles who's in the focus group, but it was shared in the normal suggestions. Where it was like, hey, looking at like these event-like things like the meteors, what about an event where you could buy something on the station that allows you to call a smaller version of the ship, stash some stuff onto that, and then it goes back to station?
I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
No, mainly because I think it just reduces the stakes, right? The stakes are lessened by it. I understand why people like it, because it's like, oh man, it's so stressful, the game at times, and I died like 5 times in a row, and can please just give me some way of getting something off the planet. But I think that you lose the tension, I think, if you allow. If I understand the idea correctly.
I think the idea
Maybe
was
I don't-
basically like you pay for it, you get a beacon, and that beacon emits some light into the orbit, and then that ship comes down, so all the other players see someone wants to extract something from the planet to the station into a stash.
Right, so you're kind of like going around the evac areas
Yeah.
because you're making evac be potentially anywhere.
Yeah, but just like in a small scale, so you can't evac yourself because you want to stay on the surface longer. You just can't like have like something that you can maybe upgrade then. Just like 2 boxes with like limited stash amount where you can go around and just like, okay, I want to evac this material because I need it, but I also want to do and finish this quest. I want to do the cool secret thing as well with my friends.
I think it really lowers the stakes. I'm not a fan of it.
It would have to be like telegraphed really well. It'll take ages and be super expensive.
Yeah, right. Like I think really the idea was like to have this like huge beacon that goes up, and then everybody on the map will be able to see like the meteors. When the meteor shower starts, you see it, and that beacon should be visible all the time. Then it's like, oh no, someone's doing that, and then you just go there and have a huge fight there and steal all the stuff. But yeah, that was definitely cool to see that the community is already like developing these kind of like, oh, we could do this and maybe we could do this. We should totally suggest that. And it's really cool that they do that. And I really appreciate that because it just like shows us that they put a lot of thought into the game and can't wait to be back, which they finally can on 10th of March.
Yeah.
So you will also most likely play again, right? On the 10th of March.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be playing all weekend, I guess, with the focus group test. Yeah.
That's actually also true. So focus group, right, and streams coming up this weekend. So I guess that will also be interesting and fun to join the streamers and also like get the feedback. So from now basically until closed beta, what needs to be done to get this closed beta out?
Oh my God. There's definitely things.
Some feature work
Here and there.
still. There's a lot of just polishing, wrapping it up,
Bug
fixing
fixing.
the bugs.
Fixing the bugs. Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad, honestly. We've been through worse. We were talking about that the other day, right?
Yeah.
So it's there's quite a lot to do. The thing that always happens in game development is just the unknowns to channel a certain old US politician. But yeah, the curveballs. Right now it looks pretty good, and I think the bug count is pretty reasonable. But we have to see how it develops. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to hit the date. So I think the build has come together quite well, and but the reason why we do the focus group tests and we get to get this feedback is also just a reality check. Am I being wildly optimistic? Do the players think it's actually going to be ready to go out? So we'll have a much better idea after the weekend and the end of next week. it's really impressive in PvE because of the monsters and how they stomp around in the environment and how the occlusion works and this crazy reverb you get now. It's really immersive. That's one part of it, but there's the whole PvP part of it. There's now when you're running through bushes, they make sound, and I think some of the criticism we got in the past from CP1 that you can't really hear exactly where the footsteps are of people, and sometimes is it a monster or is it another player? Wasn't always clear. I think this part of the game just took an insane step forward. So lots of part of the game have, but this one is, I think, really, really noticeable to a high degree. So
I had it just the other night. I was playing in the evening on the server, so I was pretty sure I was alone, but I wasn't really sure, you know. And now when you walk on piles of rocks, they make like piles of rock sounds. And I heard those sounds behind the corner, and I wasn't sure if it was a strider or a player, and I just froze, you know, on my spot.
That's what you want. This is really cool stuff.
I did some recording stuff recently for a new video series, and I went into a building, opened a door, opened the other door on the other side of the building. It wasn't close to Central Station, actually, because like Central is just an amazing area for audio stuff. And walked downstairs, turned around, looked into a bunch of striders and 2 rattlers. I was like, oh snap. Ran back upstairs, fought everyone. I was like, yeah, I feel super awesome now because they all run upstairs and I can kill them one by one. And then I heard a sound behind me. One of the rattlers, instead of going up the stairs, went behind the building, took a bit longer than the others, and I was just like having a breather because like, okay, they're all dead. And then I heard the sound of a rattler from behind me. I was like counting. I was like, shh, that's the last rattler, the one that I didn't kill yet.
Yeah, rattlers are such a bummer sometimes when there's more than one. Like when there's 2 or 3 of them and it's like the beams crossing, you know.
Don't cross the
beams. Don't cross the beams. It's just, you're just annihilated in seconds, and yeah, it can be pretty frustrating. But that's just being aware of all the monsters around you and just being smart about your position is just an important part of the game that I suck at, but I'm working at it. But yeah.
Yeah, but that was definitely pretty amazing, and the sound is just like so huge improvement. It's really cool.
I like it in the waterfall labs as well. I think
that's
this
one
is
of my
really,
favorites.
really good as well.
I mean, waterfall labs is also one of the areas where the community always said like, "Oh, we love this so much just because it's visually so stunning."
Yeah.
The loot was good.
Yeah.
So that's definitely really great to hear. Speaking of like the scope of closed beta, right? We said like, okay, they can do this, they can do that. 18 days. We already heard some people said like, 18 days, it's not enough. We want to play more. Can't we just like have like a full month like last time and so on? I think there's also some stuff where we need to check, right, if it's ironed out. For example, the server things that we had last time with like a lot of players rushing into the server, limit reaching, issues with logins and so on. Anything that we did in that regard to prevent basically the same situation from happening?
Quite a lot. I mean, I'm not a tech director, so if he was here, he'd give a much better, or Ollie for that matter in the live team. But we are working with PlayFab and Microsoft Azure, which is like our back end, if you like, our back end tech stack, and those 2 things together. And we need to get some consultation from them for how to deal with the load. Like we do tracking, BI tracking. BI is like business intelligence tracking, so we know what's going on. What does a player do in the session, so we can see like what is maybe frustrating a player and stuff like that. And we also just had so many BI events because we had so many more players than expected that that BI died on us and killed everything else with it as well. So and that's how we kept on going. And managed to get the servers back was basically by turning BI off, and but we need that telemetry data to know how to make the game better. So that's a big thing that's been improved, which maybe sounds a bit like mundane, and I guess it kind of is in some ways, but it's it gives us so many insights into how to make the game better. So that whole thing got changed as well. So that there's been quite a big effort to make that scalable by order of magnitude. So it was really surprising. Like we didn't think that we were going to get 10K like we thought we were going to have a small closed beta, right? And maybe a few thousand players would turn up, and it was more, it was closer to 500,000 at the end. So it was actually really good that it happened, because it allowed us to see all the weak spots and to do all the necessary work to be able to handle a high CCU. So yeah, we put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, let's see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So to not like hold you up for much longer, because I know that you're super busy right now with all the things for closed beta and beyond.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to share with the community before we say goodbye for today?
Thank you so much for being there, and for all your feedback, and for all the, oh my God, all the entertainment. I think it's hilarious. I'm not just talking about Twitch and YouTube, but those are definitely a big part of it. Maybe you're more of a active contributor, but I'm more of a lurker in Discord, and I pop in every once in a while. But it's also just great to hear how much the players are talking about things. It's great to go to Reddit and hear about what they think about the game, and how they're engaging with it, and just gives us a tremendous amount of energy and motivation, and it's often just hilarious. It's often really entertaining. So big thank you for that. Looking forward to CV2, and
Yeah, big +1. Thank you so much to the community for being with us, for all the great feedback, and I can't wait to steal your laser drills.
All right.
Well said.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today, for being part of this announcement stream, and see you on Fortuna 3 very, very soon.